right, we are going live on Facebook, so we're good to go.
Oh, there we go. In.
I've been everywhere.
Welcome, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll welcome all of y'all to 1 Million Cups. We're going to be starting here probably in about 5 minutes. Let everybody get in and get out of the waiting room. So thank you all for coming out. I know it's the week before Labor Day, so everybody's kind of powering down from the end of the summer going into the fall, but we are here to do business today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see some more folks coming in here. All right, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to give everybody a couple more minutes to get in here, and then we're going to get this sucker going. We have a double shot today, so we definitely want to make sure we give everybody plenty of time to have their conversations. What a double shot is we actually have two presenters today. So what we'll do is they'll have their normal 6-minute presentation, and then we'll leave time for us to grill them a little bit and let them get ask us questions, and then we will have our second presenter and the same type of situation. Right. 1 minute warning. 1 minute warning, and then we get the ball rolling here. All right, well, let's get the ball rolling so we give everybody plenty of time. Welcome to 1 Million Cups Round Rock, the virtual edition. So we are hopefully someday in the future actually going to get to see each other face to face again. However, right now, this is what we have, and it's been awesome. We have had a ton of participation throughout the summer months, which is typically our slowest time. And, a lot of people have been interested. I think we've drawn some people in from outside of our area as well that hadn't been able to attend the event. So we've had a lot of really cool folks, a lot of great presentations this summer. So let me introduce myself. My name is Jeff Kickle. I am the CEO of T-Works Co-working in Cedar Park, Austin, and Dripping Springs. And we have an amazing organizer team. So Amy from the Chamber, of course, has been our champion from the beginning. Bill Combs, my buddy, my partner in crime, and we share duties as MC with No Time for Social. Joshua Brito is with Don Quick and Associates, and definitely our member of the team who keeps us on track. Cynthia Flores, as always. Myself, Lewis with Bancorp South. Celicia Sanchez Adam from Think Group, Jeremy Ransom from GTX Capital, our fantastic mayor, Craig Morgan, who's been an honorary organizer and has been a massive supporter literally from day one. Lauren Sellers from Round Rock Chamber, who herds the cats and is our amazing partner there, and Mark Richardson with Sendero. So thank you all for participating, being part of the organizer team. These are the folks that if y'all want to get together with somebody to talk about maybe presenting, take the notes down from these folks because they're the ones that can help you. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Holiday Inn. Once again, eventually someday we'll be back there, and they are an amazing facility. They have partnered with us for the last year and provided us a place to go once a month for these meetings. Don Quick and Associates, No Time for Social, and of course our partners at the Round Rock Chamber. So first, before we get started, I wanted to talk a little bit about 1 Million Cups. What is 1 Million Cups? Well, it was actually a dream of the Kauffman Foundation, which is located in Kansas City, Missouri, Missouri. So Kansas City, the Kauffman Foundation, they sat down one day and they set a goal for themselves. They set a goal to get 1 million entrepreneurs together to have a cup of coffee. So then you set this big, gigantic, monstrous goal, and then you try and figure out, okay, how do I do that? How do we facilitate that? Well, they came up with the idea of having these groups around the country. And right now there's about 185 groups around the country, all on Wednesdays. So all at the same time that we're here today, they are out there bringing together groups of entrepreneurs like this to have a cup of coffee. Well, today we're at a virtual cup of coffee. So everybody make sure you've got your coffee out. We are getting all of you together to have a cup of coffee to discuss business. And that's what the goal has been. Now, I will tell you, I've presented at over 18 of these around the state of Texas. And maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I will tell you, presenting all over the state of Texas, this is the best group that I've worked with the entire time. The most active, the most caring, the most focused on trying to help an entrepreneur move to that next level. So what's going to happen today? We're going to have our presenters come up. They're going to get 6 minutes to tell us about their business, not to pitch us, not to get us to invest in their business, but to help them understand, or help us to understand who they are, what they're doing. And from there, they're going to ask us 3 questions about their business and get a list, get the elicited feedback. Then we're going to be asking questions of them as well. And that's what we do the best here in Round Rock, is that back and forth, be their focus group for them. We've had some people come in here. I know in my business, I completely reshuffled what I was doing because of going to 1 Million Cups. So that said, we're going to kick off with our first presenter today, Jessica Ballman, of iOpen Innovations. She's going to be the first of our double shot today, which is we have 2 presenters. All right, so Jessica and Don. Don's going to take over the presentation at this point and share his screen.
Hey, good morning. Can everybody hear me?
We sure can.
Okay, good. Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Jessica Bowman. I'm the CMO co-founder of iOpen Innovations. Today, it's my privilege to introduce our first product, SafeSay 365, real-time room awareness for hotels and their guests. Our guests, as a 1 Million Cup, always kind of help us as a community. So our guest is, I cannot see the screen. Okay, introduction for hotels, Airbnb, apartments, and IoT technology leads as talent and industry advisors. Okay. So everybody has a great idea. Everybody has a vision. At the end, we celebrate the success and we got a better place. Somehow in between, there's a journey. That's kind of the entrepreneur journey. So I just want to share how we started. So I love to travel as a teacher, but that's my background. I love kind of adventure traveling. So I took my students go abroad to UK, Germany, Belgium, France, Canada, of course, US, Boston area. One day I asked my girlfriend, when you are traveling, what's your most concern? She said, when I get to my room key, open my door, I want to know there's no one in my room. This is our why. Hotel is not always provide the guests what we need. I do some research. 90% of business women travelers don't feel safe. The problem is we don't know what's the other side of the door. We assume it's safe, it's our room, but I do a lot of research, interviews several people, both men and women. When they open the door, someone already inside. The problem is lack of awareness, especially COVID-19, how we can do better. Safety 365 solution is scalable, robust system for awareness. When you check in your hotel, you will get notification. There's no one in your room. When housekeeping knock on your door, they always know have to wait a little bit, wait for answer to avoid some awkward moment. We all want to save some trees. Safety 365 can monitoring the hotel usage, the usage of energy to make the earth greener. And also there's first responder aspect to it as well. As I mentioned before, our product Safety 365 also not only for hoteliers and also for the guests. You can see the screen on both sides. Next. So we know a lot of kind of technology companies that do for hospitalities, but we are the first mover to let guests aware their room status. Even though when we are away from our room to do the business or for fun, we always get notified when someone enter our rooms. That awareness provides empowerment, personalization, also privacy. So those are benefits, advantages. We have autonomous network, 24-hour battery backup, all wireless sensors, 5G global ready, no download required. A lot of people kind of told me, I don't want to stay for the hotel just for 1 or 2 nights stay. So our Safety 365, no download required. How cool is that? I think it's pretty awesome. And bank level security as well. I want to share the quote. Knowing that is a safe, clean, and comfortable room waiting for you at the end of a long shift can make all the difference in the world right now. It said the Dr. William Jackies, the president of American College of Emergency Physicians. As we know, when the COVID hits, a lot of hotels convert to hospital facility for hospital professionals. So I think that's really, really good for the hotel industry, can contribute in the beginning for the COVID situation. So at the end, we need to help with introduction. If you know some hoteliers need some the beta test first roll out, Airbnb apartments, and we need to find some talent, full stack IoT technology lead, and also we need an industry lead for advisor roles as well. And do us a favor, scan the QR code and just kind of do some 5 questions survey. Your feedback will really, really help us. Thank you. My name is Jessica. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. We really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for coming on here, both you and Don. So we'll open that to questions from the floor. If you want, you can either unmute and ask a question, or you can shoot a question through on the chat and Lauren will read those out for you. So I think I'll lead off real quick, Jessica. So have y'all implemented this already? Is it out there? And where specifically do you have it right now?
Yeah, right now we are MVP right now. So last year, this year, kind of earlier, we do have some tests at the Crown Plaza for kind of 3 weeks. So when you see the slide 4, that's kind of image on the left corner. So that's kind of a Crown Plaza image. We do have the small test.
Nice.
Yes.
So it looks like we have a question in the chat from Linus. Linus says, is this a system that gets installed in the hotel rooms or Airbnb?
Yes, it is. Hi, this is Don. Yeah, so this is an IoT system, which is based on the Internet of Things. So it comes with a very small sensor. You can see the sensor itself is about the size of a quarter, and it runs on its own system. So we never burden the hotel's Wi-Fi or their, their internet service. We bring our own. You can see the gateway just below the sensor on the image on the left. The gateways are cellular gateways, and they have a 24-hour battery backup. So in the situation where a hotel would ever lose power, and believe me, last year I talked to a Hilton, and the night before my appointment, they had lost power for about 3 or 4 hours. So it happens. These little gateways are just like cell phones, and the battery kicks in, and you don't even tell any difference. So our system would stay live. So I hope that answers your question.
Excellent.
I have a question.
Lauren, would you go ahead and go ahead, Ken.
Well, I'm just curious as to the market size. I've traveled for 55 years. I don't know how many hotel rooms I've been in, and I walked in on somebody once in 55 years.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, the hotels are kind of empty now because of COVID. So, I mean, is there a demand for such a thing? I know my stories are anecdotal, but there's a lot of hotels in a lot of different countries. And hotels are empty.
So that's a good question. Let me tackle the first one, and I'll come back to the second one, because I think we're all in this COVID-19 situation, which is, it won't last forever. For your first question, imagine this is your seatbelt. You may never use it, you may never ever need it, but it's that one time, that one moment that you have your seatbelt, you're really glad to have it. We see this as the same thing. You may never need it. Ideally, it's something that will work in the background to protect you and the other guests and the hoteliers, and you never even notice it's there. This is, we put privacy in the front so that it's secure, but it's also very, very private. So, your room is your room. We just want to avoid any awkwardness, bumping into each other with housekeeping or maintenance, or even walking in on a double booked room by mistake. So imagine it as your own seatbelt for your hotel. For your second question, yeah, we're definitely all in this thing. We are starting to see hotels come back. It really depends on the markets that you look at, and it's very, very scattered right now. I think national average hit about 43% a couple of weeks ago for occupancy. Before COVID-19, the national average was about 67, 68% national average. Texas seems to do a lot better. We're closer to 75 to 80% on average. So it's really spotty. We've talked to hotel that were running, they would run about 20% one day and jump up to 40% the next day. So it is a challenge. Our strategy is to be there in the market, ready, waiting for when we recover. And we're already starting to see, I think we've seen it, the market bottom out, but we definitely we don't want to wait for it to recover. We want to get in now. I think this is the absolute best time to get in, tweak the system, grow it, and be ready for those hotels to recover.
So I have a question. As a guest at the hotel, what would I see as an alert? I mean, would it alert me that somebody was in the room? If I'm in the room, would it alert me that somebody's opening the door? What does it show me?
Great question. Great question. So our system, as Jessica was saying earlier, our system really provides an awareness alert for the hotel and the guest. So so basically both sides get an alert message when something is out of place. So as a guest, let me just step through the quick process. When you check in to your hotel, you will get a text message, and that text message will have a link, and you just tap on the link, and from that your phone opens a web browser. You authenticate, make sure it's you, and excuse me, and then you will see a very it'll be a nice page. It won't be like a web app, but it'll be a very nice web page, or it won't be like a download app, but it'll be a nice web page. As you can see, kind of the image there. This is one of the early prototypes that we've been playing around with. So you would see the status of your room. If there was something out of place, or let's say someone entered the room at an odd hour, let's say 7 o'clock at night, it's just not right. And you would get a message to go see the front desk that there may be something, someone has entered your room, you may go see the front desk. So we never want to put people in a situation where, we alert them and not give them some steps to take. We always want to think about the protection of the guest first, even if it's innocent, even if it's a double booking, we want to steer the guest towards the front desk. And at that time, front desk already knows about this as well.
And so
Hey,
Don,
guys, go ahead, Mark.
all right. So Don, have you run this by like any of the first responder organizations? I was in a hotel one time that caught on fire, and I think this would be, useful so they could kind of, have a better way of knowing who's in rooms and who isn't. So when we start to clear things, right, they clear those first and then clear the others.
Yes, sir. That's a great idea. We've talked to first responders from Washington State, from California, and certainly from Texas. They love this idea, and so they're fully behind it. We can't wait to implement, that part of it. I was actually in a hotel in Toronto last year, and there was an incident in the hotel where they had to, all the fire alarms went off, and they had to evacuate the building. It was not a fire, but it was something else. First responders came there, and long story short, I'm down in the lobby, and I know for a fact that not everybody, that there were more people in that hotel than were in the lobby. So yeah, definitely we want to work with first responders. If they have to clear a building, I mean, this is priority, right? For their safety and for the people's safety. I'll give you one more quick example. Is in the case of a fire, let's say that there's a lot of smoke. Let's say that the person got out, tried to get out of the room and just passed out because of the smoke. If they're laying on the floor, our sensors would basically, they take a history. So they would still know that there was someone in the room, even they're not moving, even they're on the floor. So because of that history, we know, go to that room, there's someone there.
Excellent. Hey, quick question. Y'all have the monthly subscription model. First question, what's the range basically? Is it based on number of rooms or whatever? And then two, is there an equipment investment that they have to make, or Is that subscription include all the equipment and everything?
Yeah, it pretty much includes it right now. We're trying to roll this out to like a 2 and a 3-year subscription. So we're trying to get the price down very, very reasonable. I think it is reasonable. We've talked to different levels of hotels. We've had economy hotels say that it's at a price point that they can afford. Our main target is the luxury and upper scale hotels. So.
Jeff, can I ask a
Excellent.
question, please?
Please do.
Jeff? Oh, thank you. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am. Go ahead.
The chat box is not working. Mine shows disabled. So, Don, I think it's a wonderful idea. As a woman traveler, it can be a little scary. I have a little concerns that some of the kinds of boutique hotels that are fun to go to might not take your product. But my question is twofold. One is, what is the liability for the company? What kind of insurance do you have to have? What kinds of things might you run into? But the second question is, when you listed the competitors, I wondered if any of them had gotten endorsement from the Hotel Motel Association or the Firefighters Association, because if you were looking for introductions, if you can get an influencer rather than going, chain to chain or hotel to hotel, maybe even the Stash Rewards people who deal with the kinds of hotels that I think you're looking for might be an opportunity. And so, thank you.
Yeah, that's a great insight. We are looking for folks who would take more of a advisor role. We would love to get endorsements. I've reached out actually to a few folks yesterday and asked for endorsements. So we have been very favorably looked at by fire departments. Fire departments love the product and the whole concept of it. So yeah, we're definitely working on that. That's for sure. Anybody who would be willing to share, like a fire marshal or an introduction, we'd love to talk to folks.
Please contact me.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll do.
About the insurance, Don?
Oh yeah, so we do have standard insurance, and so everything is basically covered as far as liability. We do have we have to have a certain level of insurance for our partnerships, and so we're running on a cellular network. We're partnered with Verizon right now, so they require us to have a certain level of insurance already.
Thank you.
Excellent. We've probably got room for one more question here. I think I saw something that Ken fired up just a second ago. Have you been introduced to VRBO?
VRBO, I know that we're aware of it. We have not been introduced. We would, if you're able to make an introduction, we'd love to get an introduction.
Yeah, Ken, if you could do that, just reach out to them and we'll do that. Probably one more question if anybody's got anything. If not, we'll move on.
And I wanted to call attention to the chat box. Jessica says that she's creating a blog right now, safestay365.blogspot.com, so you can read some true stories related to their product.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Well, very good. Thank you so much, y'all. We really appreciate you coming on and talking about all of that today. Let me bring our presentation back up here real quick. And next in line is Miss Lennis Perez of Just Lennis LLC. And she is going to wow us with her presentation here. So Lennis, do you want to take over the screen to share? Outstanding.
All right, let's see. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, okay, it was showing that I was mute, so now I'll go back to my presentation. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me, and thank you to the 1 Million Cup team. My name is Lenis Perez. I am the founder and CEO of Just Lenis LLC, a wellness consulting company. So to give you a little bit of background on our history, I founded Just Lenis LLC in 2016, and up to date, we have served over 600 audience members plus small businesses and entrepreneurs create healthier habits to drive more success and impact in their communities. So we describe our mission as helping professionals and entrepreneurs succeed by creating a foundation for their personal well-being. So why do we think this is important? So before I dive into the actual numbers, I just want to share briefly that I've had some health issues since my early 20s and even a cancer scare in my early 30s. I was frustrated with the doctors, and I started looking for alternative ways to regain my health. With lifestyle changes, I was not only able to find that balance for myself, but also by doing that for my dad, I was able to get him off his high blood pressure medication within 3 months, something that he was taking for years. So again, it's just to share a little bit of the background of why I started this company. So here you can see that out of the top 7 leading causes of death in the US, 6 are lifestyle relating. Over 1.5 million people die in the US, and these numbers are from 2017. They haven't been updated yet from the CDC website. So a lot of these diseases can be prevented and also reversed, but we don't have this information, or it's scattered everywhere. And then the other thing is we're looking for creating also a healthy economy. And small businesses are the backbone of the US economy, creating 2/3 of net jobs and driving innovation as the US in front of the world. So on average, 50% of small businesses survive more than 5 years. The other 50% unfortunately fail. 62% of small businesses don't have any full-time staff, supporting staff. We usually work with freelancers or part-timers. And then 25% of entrepreneurs feel that they've been moderately burnt out throughout their journey. So how can I help, or how can Just Lenis LLC help? So we run paid workshops and education sessions. I work with organizations like the Innovation Women, special events like Montclair Design Week, boutique gyms like DFIT in Montclair. This is previously to move into the Austin area last December. And then I was working in a partnership with the Whole Kids Foundation, where we will go into school and do the Healthy Teachers Program training and including a cooking demo. So the topics range from helping the audience, usually 10 to no more than 20 people, to workshops like designing your own roadmap to well-being, understanding the power of meditation for high achievers. And as I mentioned before, I've done also cooking demos and introductions to how to prevent and reverse heart disease with lifestyle changes. We also have online courses in the platform Thinkific. One of them is Ditching Dieting for Good, and the other one is Release Your Wellness Blogs workshop. So these are more on-demand type of programs where the student, when they register, they get lifetime access to the classes, and they can go back and review the material as many times as they need, because I know our lives are continuously changing, and we know that for sure through COVID. I've also approached organizations like Diving to do some mentoring for young founders, so they can start setting this foundation as they develop their businesses and are under a lot of stress and pressure, as we know. And also I have a lot of different strategies that I share through the social media platforms, including YouTube. This way, it just increases the visibility of the business as well. So my current challenges are identifying early adopters. One of the places that I was trying to approach was co-working spaces. Unfortunately, with COVID, I had to readjust that pitching strategy. Also building and developing B2B relationships, going into small companies where they may be interested in creating some wellness programs for their employees and diversifying the different revenue streams. So my questions for you today are how to identify the best growth opportunity and what to outsource as a solopreneur. As I mentioned, I have a couple of freelancers that help me, but I would like to continue to promote more work for them and outsource certain things. How to develop B2B opportunities during this current pandemic, a little bit of that introduction. If you know a small business that may be interested in this, that would be fantastic. And then I would love to also create an advisory board. So what are the must-have to do that? I would love to have your feedback on this. So here is my contact information. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And thank you again for the time and opportunity.
Outstanding job, Linus. Thank you so much for coming on. So, I think, Linus, what has been your biggest pivot that you've, reaching out to those clients? What do you think's been that biggest pivot, and how did you make that pivot?
The biggest pivot is giving them clarity of the work that I do, and that's why I try to say it's a wellness consulting business. A lot of times people confuse it with one-on-one coaching, which is not what I do. So I have to explain that these are small group workshops, especially because I find that working in small groups bring that camaraderie and also helps develop ideas by exchanging right there some suggestions or some stories and experiences that other people may have. So I feel that that collaboration is extremely important for people to start really looking and evaluating their lives and how they can start making their lifestyle changes. So that is one of the things that I've had to pivot in the last 4 years, is going from, I don't do one-on-one coaching, is there's a value in collaboration and working together as community. So it's building that side of the business.
Super cool. Very good. All right. What questions do you have for Linus? Oh, there's got to be some other questions. I see one from Bill that says, Bill Combs, that says, on B2B, I would consider using LinkedIn as my major tool for reaching out from a business to business perspective.
Okay. Yeah. So typically, I personally hate when people pitch to me on LinkedIn directly. I like to build relationships. So I will be open to some ideas in terms of what information will be relevant, for example, for you to read as an article, to be shared versus just throwing a pitch. Just finding those, creating that material and content that will be useful, so then we can start creating a relationship and work together.
Yeah, I reached out to you on LinkedIn. That's something I may be able to help you with, because that I do that with clients. So I agree. There's way too many people out there that, hey, let's connect now, let me sell you something, and that's not the way you do it. Looks like from Tina Lacey, what makes your business different from other health advisors out there?
I'm an engineer. That's what makes me different. So I looked at things from an engineering perspective. Actually, the method that I created and that I share in the workshops is called Engineering Wellness from Within. So it's looking at where you're at right now, and just from an engineering perspective is you gather the data, then you try to put out the solution for it through a system. So my background is very different, although I do have a certification in plant-based nutrition and working on one to teach meditation, primordial sound meditation through the Chopra Center. It's a very unique perspective from a person that comes from that engineering background to help someone, it's putting the systems together. So for me, it's marrying that systems with professional experience that I've had. I worked full time. I became a caregiver for my dad. So for someone that has kids, I can relate to the responsibilities that you have at home. So the relatability side of it and the importance on how to make it. So I would say that's my biggest differentiator.
Excellent. From Ben, he says, on the advisory group, I would look for a diverse group of individuals, as many as have not all from the health industry. Totally agree. Yeah, I think you got to have financial people. You got to have a little bit of everything in that group so that you get that diversity, not only in business experience, but, personal experience as well, and, and backgrounds.
Yeah.
Jan, who usually speaks for herself, but it's kind of cool speaking for Jan because she's always got such good questions. How big do you want to be? Do you want to build a group of people to go out using their own system of health systems, or based on your own specific system that will affect how you find the right board?
So ultimately, the long-term plan is to, yes, train some people on this and also bring on board more holistic practitioners and create a safe space, a retreat style place. And I'm actually looking at potential land outside of the Austin area to create these places where people can truly disconnect and learn hands-on how to bring this sustainable strategy home, because the day-to-day definitely gets in the way. So that's how big I want to get is to actually create a place for people to come disconnect and learn these tools hands-on, because when we practice them, not just hear them on a 2-hour workshop, but we actually live it for a couple of days, we're able to really bring it home and apply it and remember it.
Excellent. Excellent. Fantastic. Who else has got questions for her? Oh, come on. There's got to be more out there. Well, apparently not. Go ahead, Lynn.
I will go back to the questions on what would you see as best growth opportunity from your own personal experience? What are the things that you feel that you could have some help with right now? I would love to understand your needs, especially now in COVID. We're living in a completely different place where most of us are working from home or experiencing social distancing, and as creatures that we want to live in community, we're facing that little bit of struggle. So if there's anything that you think it's of value right now to help other folks cope with balancing so much, just I would love to hear that from you as well.
Well, I guess I can speak from the co-working side of it, which was your original plan of attack, was on the co-working side. I mean, I can speak from it from that perspective. We are starting to see people come out of their bunkers and get out there. We have a whole new audience. I mean, I had the best summer that I've ever had in this business. Usually we decline in memberships during the summertime, and I actually had the best summer that we've ever had because people are, they're kind of tired of this. They're tired of the wonderful world of Zoom, and just one more Zoom meeting is just another annoyance to them at that point. So I think I would not necessarily get away. I wouldn't believe the hype that, nobody's going to come out ever again. Nobody wants to do this. I mean, when we have people come out, and they social distance, and we've got the capability to do that. We basically, where we would normally have 25 people in a room, we may only let 12 into that room, and we can spread them out to where they're not having to be right on top of each other. So I think, honestly, I would be playing to the effect of, for those people that want to get out and have that kind of community again, I would be playing to that as much as possible. And, I think co-working places it's a great place to have these presentations. I mean, or to build these groups. But I think it's any place where you can get a group together, you can still do some of this stuff virtual. But I think having that capability to get some people together, at least for a couple of days or a day, would not be a bad thing right now.
Yeah, yeah. I love that idea, and we'll definitely be in touch after this because I'm a little zoomed out, as they say now.
As
I'm
we
not the
all.
only one.
If I hear another Zoom happy hour, I pull my hair out. So it was cute at the beginning. It's not anymore. What other questions?
It looks like Tina had a comment in the chat box. She said, I love the idea of learning over a few days will make it really possible to live it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay.
Linus, do you have any other questions for the audience that you didn't get answered?
No, I think the idea of diversifying the advisory board, it's really great, and the feedback on B2B opportunities on LinkedIn, and now I already have an idea of a potential article on how to start feeling safe on what you can do to feel safe when you're starting to come out of your quarantine and going into this type of public spaces, and things that you can ask for, right, to make you feel safe. So yeah, this was great feedback. Yep. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
You are fantastic. So thank you so much. Really appreciated that. So folks, let me bring my screen back up here. All right. Get it out of the way so I can see this. So I want to thank you all for joining us today for our double shot. Especially want to thank Linus and Jessica and Don for coming on. We really are excited about your businesses. If anybody can help them to help make some connections, if you're interested in being part of an advisory board for them, just reach out to them. And if you don't have their information, I would say reach out to Lauren and he can get you connected with them or whatever. Okay, so upcoming events, we have our October 7th, November 4th, and December 2nd. Far as we know for now, we'll be virtual, but we may surprise you as we get farther into the fall and see how things are going. If you are interested in presenting at one of these events, if you've got a business and you want to share your story, talk to one of our organizers. Normally, I would say those of us wearing the gray shirts, but it'll just be as easy to reach out to 1millioncups.com/RoundRock and put your application in. Now, here's the cool thing about Round Rock. We do not just throw you out there. We have a whole team of folks that will work with you. They will help you to develop your presentation. They'll run through it with you. They'll help you to figure out what questions to ask at the end. And we're going to make sure that you are ready to go and prepared before you get out there so that you can put your best view forward for your presentation on your business and sharing your story. Stay connected, 1millioncups.com/RoundRock. On Facebook, facebook.com/1millioncupsroundrock, twitter.com 1millioncupsroundrock, and always use the hashtag 1MCRR so that we can keep track of all those things and share what you've put out there. So thank you all so much for coming. We really, truly appreciate you, especially the week before a holiday. I was impressed at how many people were here, and I really thank y'all for coming out or coming to the computer. And we just truly appreciate you, and we'll see you here the next time.
Yeah, everyone.